from our game.
Yes, in general. Just
Yeah, I think in general, the entire city was like, that's one of the best halves they've ever seen in their life. I mean, it was a special half, especially the way it happened, obviously. And that's the reaction I got from everybody. One of the best games they've ever seen in their life. Majority.
Penny, I know you just said that one of the best games that a lot of people have seen, and I'm sure your players feel the same way, just experiencing that. But how do you move forward and like put that to bed? Know what FAU is.
Yeah, that happened the next day. Obviously, we were extremely happy from coming back from down 22 to a pretty good UAB team. And we knew we had dodged the bullet. And then we had to focus in on FAU. We knew that they were going to play at North Texas last night. And we watched that game, and we know who they are. I mean, it seems like we've faced them a lot because of the NCAA tournament and then here, and then right back to their place. So we know exactly who they are.
But you mentioned a couple times going back to the tournament last year, how much these guys talk, kind of same thing a couple weeks ago. Kind of how bad are they in terms of trying to light that fire from scratch back and forth?
They're the best in the business, to be honest. And I like it because that's how I was as a player. I respect that group at the highest level because they back it up. They talk trash and they back it up, so you have to respect them.
Dustin May said something last night after that win, how you guys were like last year was kind of like an innocent run for them because no one was really gunning for them. And this year's felt a lot different because they made a name for themselves last year in the tournament. I imagine you guys probably feel the same way within the league, like you're targeted, in terms of the team really get up for you. What is that like? Being in a league where what do you think they're going through? What have you gone through in those sort of?
Yeah, well,
Get everyone's best shot.
because we always have a lot of talent, pretty much more than any other team, and all the talent, getting all the talent doesn't like assure you wins, obviously, but it makes the other teams really get up for every single game, whether it's at our building or at their place. And every game has been a T-shirt game. That's really weird going into every arena, seeing T-shirts out on the chairs for every game that you go to. Sometimes you have to be careful what you wish for. You want to be the big dog, you gotta be able to back it up. And that's what I was going to say on the flip side of it is, when you can back it up and you go to these different places and you win like FAU has done, then it's gratifying and rewarding because you're like, everybody's gunning for us. We're not sneaking up on anybody, and we're still winning.
And the league, they set this up like they have previously with you in Houston. Like there was an assumption you two this game would be for the regular season title, and obviously you both had good years, but not quite as good
Yeah,
years
yeah.
as you thought you were going to have. How have you seen that play out? From your perspective of why are you surprised that it hasn't worked out that way? What have you learned about, I guess, going through that, if you will?
I've learned that even though you're the favorite, obviously we know that don't mean that you're going to win. And there are a lot of teams out there that have better chemistry. They're one of the teams than we are. We're always adding 12 players, 11 players, so it takes a while. We got off to a hot start, but then we hit a brick wall because of the same thing, the gift and the curse of having a new team. And a lot of these teams have been together for a minute. North Texas, Rice, Charlotte, these teams have been together, so they were better than people gave them credit for because of the chemistry. And every night, man, you got to battle. And the nation doesn't want to respect our league, but some pretty good teams. You see, I think FAU has had 2 or 3 overtime wins. I mean, it's not easy at all. But it seems as if it was going to be us and FAU for the title, and it didn't happen. You just have to tip your hat to Florida, South Florida, for running through the league and taking care of business.
Coach, I'm sure you're familiar with the stakes of what Saturday entails. In that top 4 seating area, you fall out playing extra day. How do you keep your guys kind of focused on just winning the game and not so much on the stakes of the moment? Or does it win like what you just had help them?
I think a win like we just had because the second half, how special the defensive side was and the execution of the offense. I think that what you keep them loose with is preparation. The preparation should take away all of the nervous energy, and you try to tell them to have fun. You don't start putting a lot of pressure on guys because that's when they can go the opposite way. You just want to have fun on Saturday.
Do you think that first half against UAB was that pressure that caused you all to falter there?
I think so. I think it was like, hey, this is putting us in position to get a double bye. This putting us in 4th place from where we've kind of worked our way up. and sometimes they can work against you. So on Saturday, it's about having fun and being prepared.
Hey Penny, this is a small arena, similar to Tulane, but with Tulane, you have a lot of people from Memphis that actually go down here. I think no one from Memphis won't be there. So how do you prepare your team for such a very hot environment?
The good thing about a veteran team is that they've been in hostile environments before. So this team at Texas A&M was hostile. Most all our games have been hostile, but at Texas A&M, at UAB, at North Texas, a lot of these games have been at SMU, very hostile, even though it's a smaller arena. So we're used to it now. And, it's still going to be in effect because at home, guys play better at home. We have to hold it together, and we know exactly what we need to do, but it is what it is. You got to still go and play.
Not looking too far ahead. You said you pay attention to the net and metrics because you have to. Do you feel like a win on Saturday maybe gives you a little bit of leeway to not have to go win the conference tournament in Fort Worth, or are you still conference tournament possible no matter what?
No, I think that if you beat a team like FAU twice, then you get a lot of respect around the country because they picked that team to win the whole thing, and they got a lot of respect because they're a really good team. If you do that, then they're definitely going to reward you for sure.
You had a special moment, or a moment after the UAB win with Jaquan Walton. You were looking on the box score and highlighted his 13 rebounds. How did that come together? What made you go over there and sort of?
Yeah, well, I've been challenging Naquan and Jaquan, but Jaquan Walton all year about rebounding because I feel like he's fast enough, athletic enough, tough enough to go in there and get more rebounds. He said where he came from, he's only been told to play defense and score. He's never been told to really actually go rebound, which is shocking to me because of his athleticism. And for him to get 13 rebounds in a big game, that shows that he was locked in and focused. So I wanted to reward him with, showing him a lot of love.
The way he's rebounding, does it change how you think about your front court depth, especially if you're going up against Golden again and you're shorthanded in the front court? How do you play that thought process of like if one of you've been lucky in that neither of those guys have gotten in foul trouble really the last few games, but you might run into a scenario where
Yeah, you're always thinking about that, but you have hybrids that can step in. Jaquan is strong enough, athletic enough, and fast enough to guard. So is David. But Golden is a handful, so you just have to tell those guys to be smart, Naquan and Nick. But if you have to go to that situation, then you should have the advantage on the offensive end.
What's Jordan Brown, like how healthy is he? Looks like the past couple games, looks like he's toughing it out. It looks like he's not 100%, but what's his stat?
I think he's probably 90. I think he's about 90. I think he's feeling better than has all year, but he's about at 90.
What's a couple of things that imperative to be successful Sunday? Saturday.
Just be locked in on the game plan. You got to, they're a great transition team, and you know who their main guys are. You got to rebound the ball, and you got to get back in transition.
Kind of piggyback off of Mark's question. Coming into the year, you had, before Naquan was on the team, you had pretty good depth in your front court. Adding Naquan, obviously, everybody on the outside looks at it and says you've got two big, bruising bigs in Jordan and Malcolm, and you've got Naquan and Nick. Lots of toys to play with, if you will. Has the emergence of Nick and Naquan playing together kind of changed your view on maybe the kind of bigs you want to play with? Because you would think that those guys would be able to rebound as well as they have been, or maybe guard the bigs in the AAC the way they have. Has it changed your viewpoint on that at all?
I think you always need a hybrid like Nick and Naquan, and you always need a Malcolm Dandridge or Jordan Brown because you got to play these guys. What if you go against Kansas or if you go against, Purdue? You see Jaquan Walton or Naquan Tomlin down there playing against Zach Edey. I'm just saying you do need both. Your backup big should be a hybrid to me, because I think that gives you an advantage with someone that can take the big on the outside and be successful doing it that way. But I've always loved hybrids, 6'8" to 6'9", 6'10", that can go inside, outside, that can run the floor really well. And they're definitely holding their own because even the bigs for UAB are really tough as well.
I mean, you've talked about it before, but now that we have a 4-game sample size of it, how do you describe the layer or dimension that your team has gained by Naquan Tomlin's emergence?
Yeah, it's been a great layer to add because we've been waiting on that. I've seen him struggle with trying to find his way offensively. Defensively, he was getting into foul trouble early, so he's just kind of figured both sides out, just from being smarter and then being more assertive on the offensive end and us giving him more opportunities. But he's been doing a lot of stuff without really running plays for him, just how we run our offense, him popping back behind three, being a three-level scorer. So it definitely has added a great layer to our team.
Any update on that?
No, I'm waiting just like you guys are.
You mentioned assertion. Really nobody's more assertive on this team than David Jones. On the watch list and accolades kind of coming lately, is he an All-American in your mind?
Absolutely, and rightfully so with the accolades, because he's done some special things this year from where he was last year to where he is this year. You can arguably say we wouldn't be where we are without him, because he's carried the load offensively pretty much all year when other guys were struggling, and then he's our leading rebounder and in steals.
You've said multiple times throughout the season that part of the reason you're on that bubble conversation right now, as opposed to like just a solid at-large team, is the lack of respect of the league that you're playing in. What do you think can be done in the future to maybe allow the Americans to get more respect?
I don't think they ever will. It's sad to say. They love the Mountain West. They say it could be 5 to 7 teams from the Mountain West. I think I looked the other day, San Diego State was 5th in the league, and they're 21st in the country. I mean, they give the Mountain West a lot of love, so it takes away from us. If there was a 4-bid league, maybe they give us one more. I know it's a 3-bid league, at least in the AAC, not a 1 or 2.
Why is this league better than, say, a Mountain West or other?
I don't want to disrespect the Mountain West. I'm just going by what they say, but I feel like South Florida, us, FAU, SMU, even North, a lot of teams in this league we can match up against other leagues. And I hope I didn't leave anyone out, UAB, the teams that are at the top. The top 7 teams can play with any top 7 teams around the country. I feel like that. I really do. But it just seems like they will never, I won't say never, I don't know what it's going to take for them to respect what's going on, because FAU didn't just blow through this league. We haven't blown through this league. South Florida is a team that got picked 13th or whatever they got picked, got the chemistry, played great basketball all year, but there haven't been many blowouts in this league.
Nick said after the TCU game that he's coming back. Has he told you that before?
No, he hadn't told me that, but I figured that he would. He's just now getting his feet wet with how he's played a new game than he's ever played at Temple, and now he's starting to like being out on the perimeter more, being able to take threes, working on his ball handling and his skill set. Coach McKee did a great job of teaching him the game, but now he's in a setting where he can actually open his offensive game up more.
It feels like a big deal to have, if this season's not even over yet, and you have in this day and age, you have somebody saying, yeah, I'm coming back.
Yeah, I mean, because I see how much it hurts us. No matter if you go out and get an all-star list of guys in the portal, still has to gel. And that's the part that I saw this year more than ever, that it can get rocky or it can be good. It was good for 17 games, and then it got rocky for 12 games or whatever. So it's like now it's back together. So it's like that chemistry has to happen organically with guys that, especially when you add Naquan during the season and Jordan Brown comes back to go along with the guys we already have. Because you have so much talent, someone's always going to be disgruntled. So you got to always kind of put out fires all year. So the chemistry, the character is definitely in play when you go out and grab those type of teams.
One more quick one. On March 7th, what would you give yourself as far as odds are concerned of convincing David Jones to
I'll say I'll say 60-40, 70-30 us. I'll say that.
You're going to try that, obviously.
Absolutely. But I'll never hold anyone back. If his destiny is to be a lottery pick or a first rounder or a high second rounder, man, I'm going to applaud that, because that's what we want for our guys. But if he wants to come back, I'm definitely going to be pushing for him to come back if he doesn't get what he wants.